Fit in 10 Nation, it is day 36, and I just realized I have more questions than I realized that I've not answered, because when I go through your questions on my website, I go through I'll click on a question and then I'll use the arrow to go sequentially up through the questions. But for some reason, the software, or it's WordPress based, for some reason it skips certain questions. Like when I go back to the main page, there are certain questions that show up as unread and they're just sporadic. So if I didn't answer your question, that's why. So I'm going to get to it, okay? So let's start with something easy. Types of proteins that I recommend. Okay, so pretty much any animal-based protein, and a variety of them, I recommend. I know certain people have favorites. Somebody mentioned to me that they have a favorite. They like seafood and they like white poultry. Okay, but keep in mind that it goes beyond just protein. But let's just talk about protein for right now. You want animal-based proteins primarily because they are going to be the highest in essential amino acids. These are the amino acids your body cannot make. You can only get them through diet. It gets very hard if you are vegan or vegetarian to get an ample amount of, or not even an ample, just to get all your essential amino acids. It's very, very challenging. Okay, so, but let's not forget things like omega-3 fatty acids. So if you're eating especially wild red meat or wild fish, these are going to be high in essential fats, right? Essential fats that, again, you cannot get these essential fats from, plant-based. You can go with things like flaxseed and stuff, but we don't have the enzymes to get the DHA and the EPA, which is like the active ingredients of the omega-3 from that fat. So we need animal sources for this, right? And let's not forget things like vitamin D, and then of course a lot of our minerals, right? I should say the bioavailability of minerals. Just because something has minerals in it, for example, a vegetable or fruit, I'm not knocking vegetables or fruits, so don't think that I am. It doesn't mean that we can use them. But from an animal source, for sure we can. They're more bioavailable, okay? Anyhow, getting back to protein, get a variety of animal-based proteins. That's what I recommend, because they all have different amino acid profiles. Okay, so we've got 20 or 21 amino acids, and that's what makes up a protein. Okay, an edible protein. And these have different amounts of different types of amino acids. So I would get a variety, but also remember this, that different sources of meats have different, other nutrients, right? Like different levels of vitamin D and different minerals and omega-3 fatty acids, right? Omega-3 fatty acids you're going to get from wild red meat, and you're going to get from wild fish as well, right? This is really important. Okay, so get a variety. There is not necessarily one better than the other. Although if we're talking about, they each have their pros. There's not really any cons, but they each have their pros. Okay, if you're looking for probably the number one protein from food, probably egg, whole egg, probably the number one. Just based on its spectrum of the amount of levels of essential amino acids. Okay, do I want to say anything else about that? I don't think so. Okay, let's talk about thigh gap. So thigh gap. All right, so I probably shouldn't say this, but I don't really understand thigh gap or why anybody would want it, but that's neither here nor there, because this isn't about me. All right, so if you're lacking thigh gap, which, by the way, most people are, I mean, the only way to really attain it is to lose tissue from that area. You have to remember, you have adductor muscles there, right? And, you know, you have your adductors, and you've got the musculature of your thighs and your hips. And, you know, where your adductors are, the inside of your legs, you know, your hamstrings meet in that area, your glutes meet in that area, your quads to a certain degree. I mean, there's a lot going on. So trying to attain, from an aesthetic point of view, trying to attain that thigh gap is, I don't think it's impossible, but, you know, you have to lose, you know, just muscle and fat. You just have to be skinny. And, you know, I don't necessarily think that's the healthiest thing. Now, I know that's probably not what you're asking about. I'm assuming you're asking for aesthetics. Yeah, I mean, here's what I recommend. You know, just obviously exercising frequently and trying to be as healthy as you can, keeping sufficient amount of calories in your diet. You know, I suppose I'm teetering away from answering your question here. If you really want to attain thigh gap, I probably just wouldn't weight train or eat. And you just get really thin, you know. And I'm not trying to sound, you know, facetious here. I'm being serious. Like, you know, it's a hard thing to attain, and really what it requires is low body fat and low muscle mass. Really, that's what it's about. Okay, so I would kind of, you know, put that out the window, okay, and focus on, you know, getting stronger, reducing your body fat levels if you think they need to be reduced, which I'm assuming that's why you're in the challenge, and trying to be healthy, okay? I guess I shouldn't give my opinion, but I'm just saying. 7 minutes already? Man, I got so much here. Okay, I wanted to talk about stress and anxiety. I wanted to talk about more on rest days. I wanted to talk about more on specifically somebody's question about body composition. The list goes on, but I'll get to it another day. Okay, so rest of the day. Rest of the day is, where's my rest of the day? I lost my rest of the day. Okay, because I just hit the button and that did something. I'm going to try to undo. There we go. I'm back. No matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and most importantly, never give up. Yes, that's right. We are still on the theme of not quitting, right? No matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and most importantly, never give up. So I'm going to say, submit, commit, positive energy, positive vibes. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling sorry for yourself, if you don't feel like doing something, give out some gratitude, write it down. Think about how lucky you are. Think about how much luckier you are over almost every single person in this world. Even though you may not believe it, it's true. It's very true. If you're feeling down in the dumps, think that you are actually one of the luckiest people in the world. Think about that. That's all. Keep submitting, committing, guys. Do your very best and abstain from alcohol. I meant to talk about that today as well, right? And I'll tell you why I was going to talk about that today. But just trust me when I say that, okay? If you want to lose fat, I'm telling you right now, if you want to lose fat, if you want to bring your weight down, don't cut down your alcohol. Abstain from alcohol. I'll talk to you guys all later. See ya.